Toronto, the same kind of weather I think that we had last year in our first regular season game here. Maybe it's not as windy as it was that night. If you'll think back with us on that particular evening, the Cosmos won 1-0 on a bogey, beautiful assist pass to Sanino. That was the only goal of the game. Cosmos beat Toronto 4 times last year, and the game is underway. Beckenbauer, not a Ricky Davis, playing at right fullback tonight for Eskandarian, who did not make the trip. Now the young Jeff Durgan starting again. Carlos Alberto, the Cosmos playing in long sleeves. One of the very few times this year you'll see him do that. Bruce Wilson, play it back now to Alberto. Cosmos feeling Toronto odd. Now to Naskins off his head. Not to Davis. It was intended for Davis, and the Cosmos will get a throw in. Durgan to Davis at the 35 of Toronto. Here's Ricky Romero, try to flick it over to Naskins. Johan won it back to Bogey. Bogey touching it for the first time tonight. Now to Romero, he leaves it, trying to leave it for Kinaya. Now flicked it back for Bogey, but it was intercepted by Busby. And this is Jomo Sono, the former Cosmos. All right, Toronto now looking to come on the attack. That's Peter Lorimer. Lorimer, number 7, who has that hard shot. It's been clocked at 80 miles an hour. I don't know if he still hits it that hard now, Seamus, but he can still whack it. Lorimer crossing now toward the box at the far post. This shot went wide.
That was a very good shot, a nice setup too, and a good shot by Calvert, who came all the way from the middle of the field. The player who was on Calvert was Romero. Romero lining up really as an attacking player now, supposed to be midfield, but really up front, had to come all the way back and track Calvert down.
All right, Toronto plays in the Cosmos division, the Eastern Division of the National Conference. So this game is even more important every time you play a divisional game. There's a nice little give and go. Romero getting it over to Johan Naskins, crossing toward the head of the box. Kinaya off his chest. Romero shot and a save.
Oh, some nice work there between Giorgio Kinaya and Romero. I've said in previous games that these two really have the potential for some nice combination work. There you see it, a good push on George, but he holds the ball well, slips it inside to Romero, and a good shot to the post.
Marini was on Kinaya, kind of gave him a little push there. All right, it'll be a throw-in now as we pick up the action again. It'll be a throw-in for Toronto. This is Lorimer. He usually has a lot of the ball for this club. He sets up a lot of things for him. Lorimer now against Liverich, turns him around, and then an offside. Offside. Calvert again was roaming up there. Looks like he's got a green light to go up that right side, up that left side. Feeling out process now early in the game.
Well, Keith Eddy has given us a lineup that may not resemble much of what actually appears out there, because a lot of midfield players, in fact, will play up front, and a lot of a number of the listed forwards will come back and play in midfield, like Lorimer, for instance.
Beckenbauer lost it. Kinaya got it back. Intercepted by Jomo Sono away from Bogey. Here comes Jomo Sono with the ball. Sono, an exciting player. Durgan is fouled.
Sweetser all over him. Sweetser is a player who's come on a good deal this season. He had a very good game against New England, a game which was lost by Toronto in a shootout, but Sweetser, the Canadian boy, actually from Toronto, has made his way into the lineup now, replacing Rob Prentice, and has had a couple of good games.
Toronto's a rugged club. They're a lot like Tulsa, I believe, in that they're a very competitive club, very hard club. And when you beat these guys, you really have to earn it. The Cosmos beat them 4 times last year, but there were some rugged games in there. All right, Lorimer with it now, over the midfield line. Lorimer, 35, here goes that hard shot, and it went wide. Lorimer let it go from about 34 yards. From Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada, no score in the match. The Cosmos nothing, Toronto nothing. You're watching Cosmos Soccer.
This Bud's for everybody who helps build this country from the ground up.
This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. The that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
The Fury is back. Part man, part myth, part magic, and pure mayhem. Bruce Lee. Now the motion picture that became history, the man that became a legend, returns. Enter the Dragon, rated R.
Now playing at a showcase theater near you.
All right, back at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada. Jim Carvilla, Seamus Mallon, no score in the match. The Cosmos and the Toronto Blizzard. The Cosmos are the 35-yard line now. Bogey with the ball. Here comes the cross in the box. Delivered. It went right through him. And it's finally cleared by Toronto to Sweetser at the midfield line. Sweetser now in Cosmo zone. Wilson on him. And he gets a pass away nicely to Calvert. Here comes Calvert. Coming in the box. He's got Alberto to beat. He got around. The cross goes wide. The cross went wide, luckily for the Cosmos. The Cosmos' next home game is this Sunday, May the 11th at 2:30, when the Cosmos meet the Memphis Rogues. The Rogues featuring high-scoring Paul Cannell and Paul Child and former Cosmos player Tony Field. We have a special Mother's Day gift for the first 10,000 ladies over 18, a canvas tote bag courtesy of Metropolitan Life Insurance. Good seats are still available for this exciting matchup. No score in this game. 38-41 to play. First half. Cosmos come on the attack. This is Wilson outside the 35 of Toronto. Bruce now. Play it back to Bogey. Just outside the 35. Bogey to an overlapping Ricky Davis on the left. Looking for the cross low in front and knocked over the goal line by Franks. Good play by Collin.
Very good play.
Dangerous cross coming through by Ricky.
Very good play by Franks because he had to cut right across Romero. Had he missed that ball, Romero was between Franks and Tamajic, and he could very easily have tucked it in.
Looks like Franks has the same dentist that Bobby Hull has. All right, Davis. They play it out to Beckenbauer. Franz trying a little give and go, but it was broken up. Ranging back for the ball. This is Rick Davis again. And now the Bogey. Bogey to Franz. Being chased. Has to play it all the way back to Alberto. Just inside the midfield line. 37-47 to play. First half, no score for Quinaglia. Morini. Giorgio saved it, but it belongs to McClanahan. Lorimer has it knocked away by Ricky Davis. Ricky Davis, for a fullback, is really ranging forward a lot. He's really playing more like a midfielder.
That's right, and he's playing way over in this left side here, although he's lined up as right fullback, and Naskin seems to be playing a good deal back in the right side. Interesting tactic. Maybe just be trying to, a lot of this is man-to-man marking, of course, by Toronto, and Cosmos maybe trying to throw that off a little bit.
That was Sweetser that was running Beckenbauer backwards. Cosmos still have the ball. This is Durgan. What a big surprise Jeff Durgan has been. And out of Alberto. And nicely back to Franz. And here comes Franz approaching the 35. The Bogey. Bogey back to Franz. Franz looking for the open man. It's Ricky Davis. Off his chest and a hard shot by Ricky is off the mark. From Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada. No score. The Cosmos in Toronto. You are watching Cosmos Soccer.
This Bud's for all you guys who keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. This Bud's for you.
This Bud's for you.
For all the roads you ride and every place they take you to.
For all you do.
The king of beers is coming through. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
And the New England team win 3-0. All right, lads. Refreshments are on me.
Lipton iced tea. Here you go, guys.
Cheers. Cheers.
Nothing refreshes better than the good taste of Lipton iced tea. Magic. Guess it must be the quality teas they put in these flow-through bags.
That's jolly good. I guess we all like the taste of Lipton.
Of course. Why do you think they call us the tea men?
All right, right, still no score in the match. Jim Carvelis and Seamus Mallon from Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada. The Cosmos and the Toronto Blizzard. Now Bogey plays it over the midfield line. This is Romero. Romero playing it to Quinaglia wide. Giorgio got around Franks. Here's his cross in front. And a shot and a save. Bogey wide. And the Cosmos created a great opportunity that time, Seamus.
Yeah, a lot of these chances are now coming because of some fine movement by the Cosmos. Now here's Romero, who'd come in to receive the ball. Look at Giorgio running way wide out here. There he comes on the ball, fakes Franks nicely and slips a good crossover and a nice touch on by Romero. Good grasping save there by Tamanjic, and the follow-up by Bogey just past the post.
This program is authorized under rights granted by the Cosmos solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event, including the imposition of a charge for viewing this program without express written consent of the Cosmos, is strictly prohibited. David Socha, the referee, calling a foul against Rick Davis.
Well, Rick Davis's play continues to surprise. Here he is playing essentially left midfield, starting off at right fullback. I think a lot of the reason for this is that Toronto is using only 2 strikers,
yes,
and therefore the Cosmos moved one of those back 4 up into the middle of the field.
And you're right, and Naskins looks like he's playing that fullback position. Blizzard was offside on the play. There's Johan. Boy, it's great to have him back again. If he doesn't score a goal, just his presence on the field, he's really, in many respects, the spirit on this club. When he's in there, it seems to raise everyone's level. Plays with such great intensity. All right, Bogey with the ball. Rolls it to Durgan. And back to Bogey. Bogey and out of Franz. Here comes Beckenbauer. Nice little pass to Bogey. Tried to chip it over toward Quinaglia. Was headed away, as you saw. Peter Lorimer away from the Naskins pressure. All right, now it's Lorimer at the 35. He's a threat to shoot from right there. Lorimer plays it in the box. Wilson tackled it away. Here's our shot and a goal by Busby. Busby goal.
Well, Busby hit it the only place where he could put it. He was in the right spot for that loose ball that squirted out from Wilson's tackle, and he put it away. Here's Lorimer's good ball in there. You see Wilson comes in, does tackle him away, he falls down, but there's no foul. Little shovel pass there. The defense collapses on him, but he finds the only opening and just squeezes it inside the post. Good shot by Busby.
And Toronto's grabbed the 1-0 lead against the Cosmos with 32-35 to play in the first half. So the Cosmos had some good opportunities, couldn't knock it in the net. Toronto, when they got their first real chance, slotted it. All right, Romero with a nice steal to Giorgio. Quinaglia now plays it square, and it's Lorimer coming over to pick it off. And Liverich pushed Lorimer. Mark Liverich pushing Lorimer, and he gets a yellow card. Liverich. By the way, this Sunday's game against Memphis. All right, let's watch the push, Seamus.
Liverich comes in not really too hard here. Lorimer has beaten him with the ball. There's a little push now. You see it's a slight hit with his right foot. And of course, you know, Lorimer's been around. He accentuated the tackle a little bit, but clearly it was a yellow card offense.
All right, they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Ricky Davis now outside the 35-yard line of the Cosmos. Speaking of Sunday's games, you fans come out to the stadium early and join in the fun and win some great prizes. The Cosmos Tailgate Contest takes place this Sunday at every home game in the parking lots 9 and 11. And here is cross over the goal. By the way, they're going to also feature Dixieland bands out there. You have a chance to win the first prize of the new television set. All contestants will be judged on taste, originality, and presentation of their tailgate party. So be a part of the fun and be a Cosmos Tailgate Contest winner. All right, the Cosmos trailing 1-0 on a Busby goal. We're in the first half with 30:57 to play in the half. Jim Carvelis and Seamus Mallon. Marini was all over Quinaglia, and they call a foul on Marini.
A little unusual to see the Cosmos advance the ball through a long goalkeeper kick, but there it worked.
All right, now picking up the loose ball. A shot by Romero is saved. Tamanjic has had some pretty good saves. I mean, that wasn't a great save, but he had to get down. The shot was low, and he did pretty well to get to it.
Well, Romero is able to make something out of nothing, really, and that's one of the great attributes of any successful shooter. And so far, Romero's had, I think, far more chances today than he had in all of the Dallas games.
Cosmos attacking again. Here's Liverich crossing. Nobody there, and then Romero got a touch on it. Romero, by his own admission, did not play very well in the 2-0 win against Dallas.
No, he did not. I think he was a little unfamiliar with the position. He was playing way up front and to the right side, and Dallas defenders were very effective at sort of playing him out of the game. But tonight he's had already a lot of the ball.
All right, here's a long ball for Jomo Sono. Alberto comes over to Mark. Sono, left-footed cross. Durgan went over there. Actually, Busby got a hit on the ball that rolled harmlessly back to Birkenmeyer, who, by the way, last week recorded his first shutout with the Cosmos.
Well, he was very happy about that. Talking to him in the dressing room after the game, he knew that he wanted to impress this new coach, Vice. There are still a lot of rumors about the Cosmos looking for another goalkeeper, and Hubert wanted to make his point.
He's played very well this year. He really has. Davis. Now to Mark Liverich, outside the 35 of Toronto. Davis. Deflected. Last touch by Toronto. A Cosmos throw in with under 30 minutes to play in the first half. 1-0. Toronto leads in a Busby goal.
Good move there by Liverich. You notice he came back for that little pass and then used the defender's body to protect the ball and spin off him and go forward.
All right, in the box. Bogey comes through. Finalia that time jumping into the man and cleared. All right, here's Beckenbauer now getting it to Romero, who's played very well early on here. Now Carlos Alberto from the ground level over to the Canadian Bruce Wilson. Mark Liverich. Referee said it went over the sideline.
The linesman's flag went up, and he was right there, but from this angle, it's rather hard to call.
All right, here's Peter Lorimer now. Naskins and Busby. Boy, every time Johan goes up, you have to worry about that back. He seems to come out of that all right, though. And now Davis to Giorgio, who's ranged back to midfield. And now a whistle, and a foul has been called against Drew Busby again.
No, against Marini, I think, number 24. He came over, well, maybe Busby also, but Marini was climbing all over Giorgio. Giorgio wiping his head there as though he was hitting the head.
Marini's a tough customer, and a ball went over the sideline again. Last touch by Romero. Marini's familiar with Giorgio. They were teammates, and also they played against each other many times. In the paper today, Marini and Tony Chersky, who's usually the goalkeeper for this club, both said the same thing about Finalia. Durgan is holding Busby, and they call a foul. They call a foul on Busby and a yellow card.
Good call. Very good call by Dave Sosha. Busby clearly obstructing Durgan all the way across on that run, not letting him get by him, and the ball nowhere nearly within playing distance. Busby objecting and getting the yellow card.
Well, you know what Busby must be trying to do. He figures, well, I got this 18-year-old kid and American kid here, and maybe I'll just kind of rough him up a little bit. Alberto gets roughed up. The thing is, Durgan's a pretty tough youngster.
Well, he's a fearless youngster. You saw him going for a couple of head balls there that a lot of inexperienced players might not have challenged for.
Alberto in the box. Naskin's header. Actually, he wasn't heading it toward goal. He was trying to head it to Quinalia, who was breaking to the left, to the inside the box on the left. But I think Johan now is getting more and more confidence in the fact that he maybe can head the ball a little bit. That disc problem was really very serious, Seamus.
Was very serious, and initially did not seem to be very bad. In fact, I think he may have played a bit on it, and then it turned out to be really quite worrisome, and it's really very good to see him out here now, because for a while there was some doubt as to when he would be back.
Right, Marini winning it from Quinalia near. Bogey with the ball. Now cross field nicely to Alberto. Cosmos have had a lot of the ball, but they trail 1-0. Beckenbauer to Alberto. They've had some chances. Tamandzic has come up very big. By the way, we used to call him Tamindzic, and Seamus talked to some people who knew him and are of the same nationality, and they gave us the correct pronunciation. All right, now Liverich hustling for a steal. Franz plays it one time to Rick Davis. Back to Durgan. Now to Carlos. Time remaining 25-18 in the first half. Toronto on top of the Cosmos 1-0. High ball coming in the box. Oh, almost. Good idea that time. As Romero and Alberto were reading each other, Romero made a nice run that time, and Carlos almost had him there.
Well, you know, you have a central striker like Giorgio, you sometimes wonder if other players running in there are just going to create traffic jams. But Giorgio very nicely pulled Marino wide of the box to allow that run by Romero. And, you know, the Cosmos movement tonight is very impressive all around. They're moving well. They've had some good opportunities. They have given up an unfortunate goal, but they've looked very good so far.
Now they get Durgan for the foul. Durgan and Busby continue their battle. Well, again, Busby may think I got this young 18-year-old American kid, but what he doesn't maybe realize is since he's come in the league, he's played against people like Dieter Muller of Cologne and at times against Woodcock and some pretty good strikers. Oh, beautiful save that time. Coming out off his line very quickly to make the play was Hubert Birkenmeyer, and it saved the day. From Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Canada, it's 1-0 Toronto on top of the Cosmos. You're watching Cosmos Soccer.
This bud's for everyone who lives the life of the sea.
This bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this bud's for you.
At Gulf, we test products a lot of different ways. In 1968, we put regular Gulf products into a racing car and won 2 world championships. That experience has helped us produce products that are tough, reliable, even products that can save you gas. So when you want to go a long way, come to Gulf for products that have been there.
Go. Drive with experience.
All right, Toronto now on the attack. They lead the Cosmos 1-0, 22:46 to play in the first half. And a shot wide by Lorimer. Beckenbauer saying to the official, should have been dangerous play. There's Peter Lorimer, the veteran. Well, he's got some years on him, but there's a lot of moxie in that head.
Yeah, and he's also playing good position. He's got a sort of free position in the midfield. He's not really marking anybody, and they go to him a lot in the middle of the field because his experience is very valuable in trying to put through some balls.
All right, Wilson got it to Ricky Davis and back to Bruce. Sweetser, by the way, got an assist on that Busby goal at 12:50. All right, Busby to McClanahan on that right sideline in Cosmo zone to Peter Lorimer. Lorimer, nice little ball coming from McClanahan, but there's Wilson reading and breaking it up. Rivers tried to dummy the ball. Now Mark comes off with it. The bogey, dangerous pass. Sono read it all the way. Naskin's tackling. What's new? Now here comes Bogey in the Cosmos running. He's got Beckenbauer ahead of him. He plays it to Romero. Romero beats his man. Comes in the box and his hard shot is knocked down. Let's see if it goes over the goal line. It did. Corner kick Cosmos. Beckenbauer that time was running ahead of Bogey. They played it to Marino.
Well, also, I think Giorgio had taken up a good position in the middle, and so he's a little bit unhappy with Romero's shot. He saw the opening. He decided to fire, but Giorgio was clear.
There was space there on the near post. Romero, I think I said Marino a moment ago. I meant Romero. Now here's a hard shot wide by Bogey, an extreme angle. Seamus?
Fans, participate in the Cosmos Who Scored the Goal game. Twice during Cosmos telecast, we'll call you at home and ask who scored the last Cosmos goal. If you answer correctly, you can win an Atari video game or a trip for two to the Bahamas Princess via Eastern Airlines. Even if you don't answer correctly, you'll still receive a Cosmos LS warm-up suit and be eligible for the grand prizes of a trip to Soccer Bowl 80 or a new Toyota courtesy of Joe Manfredi Safe Toyota. All you have to do to enter is to send in an official entry blank available at manufacturers' Hanover branches in New York or Fidelity Union branches in New Jersey, area Photomat stores, or the Cosmos offices with your name, address, and most importantly, your phone number to Who Scored the Goal, care of Cosmos, 75 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, 10019. If you need the rules or an entry form, write the Cosmos offices and we'll be happy to send you one. If you don't have a form, a plain postcard will also do. Remember, your name, address, and phone number to Who Scored the Goal, Cosmos, 75 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, New York, 10019. Maybe you'll be one of the lucky fans to receive a call from the Cosmos. Void where prohibited by law.
He did that pretty well, Seamus.
Well, let's also remind fans that due to the unexpected delay of this telecast, there'll be no drawing in the Who Scored the Goal game. We'll continue our game on the next Cosmos TV game on May 16th.
All right, Quinalha now plays it behind Romero. Romerito got it to Alberto. Actually, the Cosmos have moved the ball around very nicely. They've created some space, they've created some opportunities, but they're trailing 1-0. Toronto really took their chance well. Here's Wilson playing it now to Ricky Davis at the 35-yard line of Toronto. Ricky now, 2 men on him, plays it to Franz. Franz back to Durgan. Durgan a one-touch to Alberto. 40 yards away from goal, tries to play it in. Velasquez made the play. We haven't talked much about him, Seamus. But
well, Velasquez is a good addition to this club. He played in 5 of 6 Peru's 1978 World Cup games, and this is his first start for the Blizzard here. He played as a substitute in the New England game. But he was a big name in South America. He cost $250,000 to go from Medellin of Colombia to them from Alianza of Peru after the World Cup.
Calvert plays it to Lorimer now at the midfield line. Peter Lorimer, a long, high cross, got over Wilson's head. He hustled back and made the play with Alberto there to help out. You have to consider the win here tonight again. The Cosmos have the win in the first half. It's not as tough as it was Sunday at Giant Stadium. Here's Bogey trying to play it, deliver it, to went off the foot of the defender, McClanahan. It'll be a Cosmos throw at midfield, and Bogey has played very well the last couple of games.
Bogey has had some great games. The game against Cologne was masterful. He really set up some wonderful passes and scored a goal, of course, against Dallas, which is not something he's used to doing. It was very well taken, and he's really come into his own the last few games.
Alberto's been on the offense a lot tonight. A long, high cross. It went over the goalkeeper's head. He deflected it over the goal line where you should have a corner kicker. I believe that time the goalkeeper misjudged the ball because of the wind. As you see the time, the wind is with the Cosmos there. It went over his head. He deflected it out. On the corner, comes inside to Davis. Ricky is knocked down. Nothing called. Now knocked over the near sideline by Calvert. Should be a Cosmos throw in here.
Beckenbauer getting a lot of space tonight. There he makes the throw in, but I'm surprised about how much space he's getting. Nobody really marking him tightly. They're sagging off and covering the deep forwards instead.
Mornini bumping into Giorgio. And now Naskin's free on the right side. Johan. Knocked out by Velasquez. And Romero, has it knocked away. Good ball on the right to Lorimer. Peter Lorimer on the right side. Not only has a dangerous shot, he's very deadly with those crosses as well. Here comes one. Knocked away, and Romero broke it up away from Jomo Sono. Romero still on it, and a foul called against Jomo Sono. Romero's played very well tonight. He really has. The youngster coming off a subpar game for him Sunday has been very impressive.
Well, the defense played that very well. There was an isolated sequence on the right there, and the defense played it so well that the player ended up going into traffic, and of course that's what you want to do. You want those one-on-one situations near the box.
Davis to Giorgio. Giorgio plays it to Bogey. Boy, Marini is really tough. I've been watching him on Giorgio. He really does shadow him. Here it comes in the box. Went over It went over the head of Chinaglia and Marini. Kamenzic ends up with the ball. Fans, display your Cosmos bumper sticker and be eligible for an official Cosmos soccer ball. Now, each home game, 5 lucky winners whose cars have Cosmos bumper stickers will be chosen. Your license plate